Hey, Colonial fans, this is Chris Shovelin, the play-by-play voice of the Robert Morris University Colonials, and this is the Bobby Moe Show. Today, we're going to meet brand new men's lacrosse coach Craig Mcdonald. He comes your way next, right after this.
Want to catch all the action of RMU football and basketball, but your schedule is too busy to commit to games in advance? Have we got a ticket package for you? Our new Flex plan gives you the ultimate flexibility to pick and choose your games and saves you 30% off regular ticket prices. For only $99, you'll receive 12 ticket vouchers you can redeem in any number at the box office on game day. Call the RMU Ticket Hotline at 412-397-4949 or check it out at rmucolonials.com.
Craig Mcdonald is the head men's lacrosse coach at Robert Morris University. He was named head coach on September 20th of 2021. He's a brand new guy, and he's the third head coach in program history. Craig, welcome to the Bobby Moe Show, and welcome to Robert Morris.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here.
I know that we were talking before we started the podcast here today, and you mentioned you're from Geneva, New York, which is part of the Finger Lakes region. What was it like there growing up?
It was great. It was great. Cold. Played a lot of hockey, but it was great. It's a great spot. My family still lives there. My mom and dad are still there. My brother and his family are there, settled in, and he works at Hobart College. So still home. Still get back there for the holidays and stuff. So definitely try to get back there during the summer. Is the nicest time to get out on the lake and enjoy it. But it's a great spot.
All right, the lake, pond hockey. Obviously, you're the lacrosse coach. How did you get into lacrosse?
Yeah, I actually played a lot of baseball growing up. Played a lot of sports, soccer, hockey, baseball, and picked up a stick for the first time in 8th grade. One of family friend who was one of my gym teachers talked me into coming down and playing and trying it out. And ever since then, I kind of put the mitt and the bat away, and lacrosse was the sport for me. And kind of hit the ground running. I like the physicality of it,
sure.
The up and down, but the high pace that it brought was something that I fell in love with right away.
I would imagine being a head coach at the NCAA Division I level, you have to be a student of the game. How about the history of the game? What intrigues you about the history of lacrosse?
I think it's, again, the roots of the game coming from the Native Americans. It's a special game. It's a spiritual game for the Native Americans in terms of when it was created and how it was created for the creator. It's called the creator's game. And that's something we try to talk about with our guys a lot in terms of just being appreciative of the opportunity to be out here and to enjoy not only playing but being together and what the sport brings in terms of the connection and the relationship building that you have throughout it. I think it's really special. So we try to talk about that a lot when we're out there as a group.
What attracted you to Robert Morris? I know you spent the last, 7 years at UMass, and then you came to Bobby Moe. You got the appointment here just recently. But what attracted you about Robert Morris? Why did you want to come here?
Well, I think the prior staff, Coach McMinn and his staff had done a fantastic job in terms of building this program up to where it is currently, and certainly Barrett Davis before that, who founded the program here and really set the foundation for it. And as a result, I think it was a spot that has had recent success, a place that has played a fun brand of lacrosse. And for me, when I started coaching, it was always a dream of mine to be a Division I head coach, and sure. It's an opportunity for me to be a head coach, but also to be a head coach at a place that has proven to be successful. And I was lucky enough to inherit a program that has great leaders in it, great players in it, but most importantly, great people. So definitely very appreciative of the opportunity and excited to be here.
I understand your specialties are on the defensive side of the game. Defensive coordinator, goaltenders. You assisted with the face-off unit when you were the associate head coach at UMass. What intrigues you about that part of the game?
Again, I think I'm probably a pretty physical guy in terms of naturally, all right, through all my sports. I was always kind of a brute, so I think the defensive end bodes pretty well to that. But yeah, I think my experience playing, obviously played the defensive position in college. I played at Albany. But the way that we played at Albany, the way that I always played, was a very up-tempo style, between the lines, getting up and getting down, pushing transition. So I try to bring that every single day when we're out on the field as well. So the physicality piece, I want to be physical. I want to be tough on the defensive end, but I want to continue to the up-tempo style that has been instilled here before I got here, and I want to continue to push that forward as we go.
Craig Mcdonald is the head men's lacrosse coach here at Robert Morris University, and we're talking with him on the Bobby Moe Show right now. You spent 7 years at UMass. I don't hear any Boston accent. I don't hear any Massachusetts accent at all. So obviously you survived that part of being in Massachusetts.
Yeah. I think everyone thinks I'm Canadian because I think I talk with a little bit of a Canadian accent at times from being probably closer to the border than most, being 2 hours, right, growing up in Geneva, New York. So if anything, I get that a lot more than the Boston accent for sure. So
what do you miss about New England?
It was a great experience. We had a great 7 years there. Again, I was lucky enough to have a great opportunity to work under Coach Cannella. He was a great person, great man, great mentor. So definitely the people around there, had a lot of relationships with a lot of really important people. So that piece was hard, right, in terms of leaving. The area that we lived in, we loved, but again, this is a great opportunity that we couldn't turn down. So we're excited to build those friendships and those relationships here and continue to explore the Pittsburgh area.
Sure, absolutely. You mentioned your coach. What about some of the other influences on you down through the years in lacrosse, outside of lacrosse?
Yeah, I think first it starts with my parents. What they instilled in me when I was young. Now being a young father, my son is 60 months old.
That's Connor, right?
Connor, yep. So now looking back, it's funny the things you look back on when you were a kid, having conversations with your parents and not really sure why you were having those, and now as you become a father, kind of go full circle and understand the lessons that they taught me in terms of right from wrong. And I think they paved the way for me in terms of work ethic as well. So they always did anything for us to provide us with every opportunity to be able to play multiple sports, to be able to travel. They worked multiple jobs, multiple hours, lots of overtime to be able to do those things and provide for me and my brother. And I think I learned a tremendous amount from them in terms of that for sure. And then a lot of professors, a lot of teachers in high school that have obviously had an impact on me. But I think for me, sports has always been something where I've learned the most in terms of life lessons. So had some really good high school coaches that have molded me, and then getting to Albany, playing for Coach Marr, and Coach Sveck was the assistant coach there. The influences that they had on me and in my life, I couldn't thank them enough for trying to help me transform from a boy to a man. And there's still relationships that I have to this day, and really good friends that I talk to a lot. So if I can affect people the way that they affected me, I'll consider my job well done. So hopefully that's the goal as we go from day to day, is try to inspire and try to push people to be better, not just lacrosse players, but people moving forward.
Coach, you mentioned you were the tough guy. You were the brute when you played. I mean, are you seeing that in Connor yet, or is he displaying any of those traits?
Yeah. He doesn't have a lot of touch when he picks up a lacrosse stick. He doesn't even put the ball in it, so he's just more into hitting things at this point. So hopefully he gets more of his mom's skill set. She played at Notre Dame. She was All-American attacker there. She's a much better lacrosse player than me. So if he can get the IQ and the touch from her, he'd be in pretty good shape.
Super. We're all like coming out of this whole COVID thing, and I'm wondering how you spent time during COVID. Did you binge watch anything on TV? Did you stay mostly close to home? How did you get through it?
Yeah, I think for me it was pretty unique because Connor was born right in the middle of COVID. So he was born in May 22nd, and it's unique because I wouldn't really have been around as often as I was. Sure. I would have been out recruiting, and I would have missed first 3-4 months of his life. I would have missed a lot of those milestones. So it was very unique for me to be able to be home. I had a very different perspective. I was where a lot of people, obviously, and me as well, were affected, and there was a lot of chaos and a lot of change. It was a very almost rewarding time for me to be able to spend as much time with my family as I was, and be able to see my son grow and be around him as much as I was. It was a special time for me and my family. There were some challenges, obviously, as everybody else, but that's definitely one takeaway, that spent a lot of time with him and was able to enjoy that, which was fantastic.
Yeah, there were some hidden blessings. There's no doubt about it, and obviously that was one special one in your life. Finally, Craig, let's talk about your team coming back for the upcoming season. What do they look like?
Yeah, I think I walked into a pretty good situation in terms of a lot of guys returning. We got a couple fifth-year guys back who are very good ball players. We're lucky to have those guys back, and then a group of seniors and juniors, and even guys, the freshmen and sophomores have been great too. So what I would say is the energy has been really good. They've been very receptive to change, right? Mm-hmm. Because sure. With a new coach or the new staff, there's going to be some change that comes with it. They've been very open to it. They've been willing to try and work on some different things, and I think it'll pay dividends for us. We got a long way to go. This is my 7th practice with the guys, so we're still really early, but the one thing I can tell is it's a group that really cares sure. deeply about each other, and for them to have those relationships and have that bond, that brotherhood between them, we'll be able to do some pretty powerful things if we're able to be consistent with that.
That's men's lacrosse coach Craig Mcdonald here on the Bobby Moe Show.
Parents, sign your kids up for the all-new Romos Kids Club presented by Mike and Tony's Gyros. It's free for all kids 12 and under. Your kids get free admission to all Army football games, select men's and women's basketball games, special game day activities, and a free Mike and Tony's kids meal. Parents also get special ticket pricing for any extra tickets. Register today at rmucolonials.com/Kids Club or call 412-397-4949.
Okay, let's check out some scores and some of the events upcoming in Colonial sports. First of all, women's soccer. Last Thursday, they dropped a 2-0 game to UIC and lost Sunday 3-0 to Oakland, the Horizon League leader. They look to turn it around on the road at Wright State tonight. That game will air at 7 o'clock on ESPN+. We hope you tune in. And then they return home Sunday when they host IUPUI at 1 o'clock. That game will also air on ESPN+. Big win for the football team this past Saturday. They beat Charleston Southern 31-24, and it was a milestone win. It was the school's first ever win in the Big South Conference. Football looks to continue its success on the road at North Alabama Saturday night. That game will air on ESPN+, and I'll have the call on the audio side on the RMU Game Day app. If you haven't downloaded it yet, do it now. Kickoff is set for 7 o'clock. Volleyball, they beat Youngstown State 3-2 last Friday. They're now starting their road trip tonight in Milwaukee. First serve at 7 o'clock p.m. They'll be at Green Bay tomorrow night, also at 7, and they'll end the road trip at UIC on Sunday. First serve at 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon. All 3 of those games will air on ESPN+. Let's talk men's soccer now. They knocked off UIC 3-2 for their second consecutive victory. However, they dropped a 1-0 loss to Cleveland State yesterday in double overtime. The Vikings, by the way, are leading the Horizon League standings in men's soccer. They return home next Wednesday when they host VMI at 2 o'clock p.m. That game will air on ESPN+. And coming ahead, don't forget about this. Meet the basketball men and women's Colonial teams at Madness. It's going to occur on October 28th at the UPMC Event Center. The doors will kick open at 7:30 p.m. The event starts at 8 o'clock. You'll get to meet the men's and women's basketball teams at Robert Morris during Madness. And for the first time ever, this is going to be open to the general public. So it'll be a big, big night. And Trunk or Treat is coming. It's going to happen right before the Robert Morris Colonials play Hampton in college football. That is coming up on October 30th. Trunk or Treat right here on the RMU campus before the football game. And that'll do it for this week's edition of the Bobby Moe Show. I'm Chris Shublin. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time.